Today we're in Chesterfield County, Virginia. We're at the Extension office and we're here with several master gardeners. We're here with Jerry, Nancy, and Pam, and we're talking about what to do with straw bales, maybe how you can garden with those. It's pretty interesting. They've got a wonderful garden here, more traditional, but right behind us here, they are actually growing lots of things in the straw bales. Pam, tell me about what you're doing, how it started, and maybe some of the advantages of growing in straw bales.
It's much less complicated, and it's the kind of thing that anybody can do.
Okay. I think it could be great for some of the gardeners out there that are trying something because there's a lot of advantages to this, right?
Yes, a lot of advantages to this. You don't have to bend down.
Right.
You don't have to buy lots of soil. You don't have to build the bed.
Right.
You basically have a bale of straw.
Right.
And after some conditioning, you plant in that.
Well, it sounds great. Can you think of any disadvantages to this process?
You can't grow corn.
Okay. So not everything can be grown.
Not everything can be
Okay.
grown, but most everything can be grown.
Okay.
After 2 seasons in the garden, 2 growing seasons in the garden, you can recycle your straw bales. You have to get new straw bales.
Okay.
But it's very inexpensive compared to putting in a raised garden.
Hey, Nancy. Great straw bales here. I noticed this is kind of a nice straw bale. You've got some that are a little decomposed. They get heavy. Is it important to place these early on, kind of know where they need to be?
Oh, absolutely. You definitely need to decide where you want your straw bales, because once you put them there, you're not going to be able to move them very easily.
You said earlier there's something called conditioning that you do. What does that mean? I'm not familiar with it.
Conditioning is it's a 12-day process where you treat the straw bale with a high, fast dissolving nitrogen fertilizer.
Okay.
And you put about 1 gallon of water on it a day. It's a process. Fertilizer and water, next day just water, then the next day fertilizer and water.
Okay.
And all that's doing is really supercharging the microbes inside the bale to start that decomposition process, because this bale will decompose and actually become your soil.
Okay.
And you know that's happening when you see these mushrooms growing along the bale.
Sure.
They're coming up because the fungi and all of the microbes in here are beginning to do their work. So that's great.
Okay.
But the other part of that is why you can only get about 2 years out of a bale, because they are constantly now decomposing. So you
Right.
can see here, this is a fairly fresh bale, and we have some other bales that are not quite as sharp on their
Sure,
edges. They're
sure.
a little bit wonky.
And they probably feel a little different.
They do. This one is pretty tight.
Okay.
You can get your finger down in there, but this is a freshly conditioned bale.
Okay.
But these bales up here, as you can see, are extremely soft. You can really get your fingers down in there.
Well, Jerry, I know that we've talked about the advantages here, but and it sounds great. But tell me, how do you plant in this? What do you normally do?
Well, there's a couple of ways to plant a straw bale garden. If you're planting seeds, we have garden bean seeds here.
Okay.
We put some mushroom compost on top of the bale just to have something for the seeds to sit in. And then we just follow the directions on the bag. If you have something you just want to put a little hole in based on the planting instructions.
Okay.
And then we just drop them in. Cover them over.
Cover them up. Okay, just like you
And,
would in normal soil.
And like we would with any garden, we won't do it right now, but we'll water those in.
Okay, I noticed you've got something growing here on the side even of the bale.
Yes, you can take advantage of the bale along the sides if you especially want to think about the southwest exposure for the sun and not the northeast. We have nasturtiums in here now, but we will be putting in squash, watermelons, cantaloupes, anything that some of these bales we'll use for sweet potatoes, but we'll put some on the top and some the slips on the side.
That makes sense. So I see the seeds, what you'd want to do. Now, how about transplants, like this eggplant right here?
This eggplant was a seed that we started at home that became a seedling, and it was in a 3-inch pot. Just pulled out some of the straw, spread the straw a little bit. This is a new bale, so it's a little bit more resistant, but it comes right out. Drop in some compost, put the plant in there, water it in, and eventually you have to support them as they grow.
I see you've got a trellis system here. Do you use other trellises besides something like that?
Oh yes, if you want to, I can take you over and show you our major trellis system.
Okay. So this is a really nice trellis, Jerry. I really like this.
We put it up to support 3 bales. Three bales are 9 feet, so we get a 2x4 by 10 foot board and attach it up at the top for support. And we can plant tomatoes. Down here we have tomatoes planted.
Sure.
They will, in another 2 months, will cover this.
I see some sweet peas there.
Yeah, sweet
trellising
peas. And then we have cucumbers down here.
Up. Okay.
So anything, if you're thinking ahead and you know you're planting anything that needs support, this is an excellent trellis support. We just use anodized wire. It's like 12 gauge. And then I come back through with some twine. It's good for a year.
Well, Jerry, thank you so much for letting us come out here today. I think this straw bale gardening can be really great for most gardeners.
I think so too. We love our straw bale garden and invite people to come out anytime.
Well, great. Thank you so much again.
Okay.
Well, for more information about gardening with straw bales, contact your local county extension office and talk to master gardeners like you've seen here today. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.